Hey guys, welcome back. This is your host Phil from underKG.com, and this is a crazy value Xiaomi's Pocophone F1, and we're going to learn everything, well, pretty much everything about it. Here's what it looks like. It's got the display stretching to the corners, and yes, there is the notch. Rear looks like this. There's no glass, there's no metal, but it does feel solid enough. You'll probably guess this from the price anyway, but no, there is no weather protection whatsoever. What you'll see the most out of your phone is the display. This is not an OLED, this is an LCD panel, but a pretty good one actually. Color reproduction isn't stellar, but you can choose between default, warm, cold, or actually any spot on the screen for your white balance and increase contrast standard or make it automatic. And if you don't like the notch, you can paint them to hide that as well. One of the very few things that I don't like about the screen is that there's a little light bleeding on the edge or the corners, though it doesn't bother me that much. And Xiaomi cut some cost on the coating. The light reflection is pretty apparent on this panel. But I'm sure most of you are excited for the performance of the phone. It's got Snapdragon 845, the latest chipset by the time, 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage even for the base model, going all the way up to 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, and they are even expandable through microSD card slot. Everything is really snappy after killing all the apps, launching a new one, closing that, launching another one, closing that, launching another one on top of that, and switching between those apps are extra snappy thanks to the UFS 2.1 storage and Full HD Plus resolution. And for all that horsepower, they put vapor chamber liquid cooling system right there, so it doesn't get hot even after a long period of 3D gameplay. Fingerprint Reader is super snappy, and so is the IR face unlock that works even under the total darkness. One interesting part is that you can see the IR blaster blinking right there even with your bare eyes. It doesn't harm you or anything, it's just interesting. Software-wise, it's a Xiaomi phone, so it obviously has MIUI version 9.6. Overall, the software is clean, simple, easy to use, and there is even the full screen gesture that you can use like the iPhone X series or the older Blackberries. You can swipe up to go home, swipe up and hold for the multitasking, and swipe from either side to go back to the previous screen. One thing that bothered me is thanks to the notch, you don't get to see any of the notification icons over here. Thankfully, there is a little white notification LED there, but I don't think that's enough. Next up is a camera that launches rather quickly. It's a dual setup of 12 megapixels and 5 megapixels, and it actually takes pretty nice photos. In daylight, most of the phones out there take great photos, and so does the Pocophone F1. But low lighting photos as well were actually better than my expectation. I believe that's because of the AI scene recognition right there that makes food look tastier and pets look cuter. AI also has its job on the portrait mode. It creates the artificial bokeh effect. The 5 megapixel soft camera doesn't bring all the details you want, but overall qualities are pretty good. Something that's even better is the 24 megapixels of selfie camera. It takes crisp, sharp photos, and if you don't like it to be that crisp, you can apply the beauty mode right there. And this also has the software portrait mode, so it can get you all the artificial blurriness you want. Next up in the multimedia department is the headphone jack. Yes, it does have the headphone jack on top, not my favorite spot, but you should be thankful to have one in 2018. The output isn't terrific. While there's no audible noise going around, there was no full array of hi-fi details either. But as always, Xiaomi gives you a load of audio settings, equalizer, Mi sound enhancer, and different headphone types to choose from, so you can give them a try to see what you like. Surprisingly enough, it even has stereo speakers. Not those two, but one over here and one on top utilizing the phone call speaker. The volume from the top one is a lot lower than the bottom one. There's a noticeable level of imbalance, but still better than mono, and it is loud enough. And of course, the battery. We have to talk about the 4000 milliamps of giant cell built inside the phone. And get this, it gave us 9 hours of surprisingly long screen on time. I'm always on the LTE network, surf the web all the time, so most of you utilizing the Wi-Fi signal more often than I do are gonna get even better battery life. Charging is done through the USB-C port on the bottom. It supports Quick Charge 3.0, and it comes with a supported charging brick. Half an hour is gonna get you 36%, an hour for 74%, and fully charging the phone is gonna take 2 hours. And now that we told you this much, time for conclusion. In short, this is a terrific phone at an incredible price. The local MSRP goes around $330 US for the base model, and even the top tier model with the Kevlar finish only costs $415 US. And it's not only the raw performance, there's also the Polish software and acceptable camera, along with the insane battery life as well. Of course, they can't cut off the price without taking anything away, so there are some hidden downsides like the limited band support, lack of OIS and NFC, maximum brightness is less than stellar, and due to the DRM reasons, you can stream only up to SD resolution for Netflix. But even with those downsides, you won't find anything virtually similar to what Pocophone offers at the same price range. Simply put, it's an amazing phone. I still can't believe how Xiaomi did this. So that was the Pocophone F1. Little compromises here and there, but nothing major or critical to turn you away. It's an amazing phone. I love this. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. You can always meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. We'll definitely see you later. Ciao.